and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's goody, Shellitronnn here, the most folk, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a Bowberry Biscuit, man. Day 14, a solid 2 weeks, the last day of Carolina Panthers training camp for the 2018 season. There's a lot of mixed emotions, both for me and the players. I know there's some players who are really relieved, like, okay, man, look, we're done in this hot heat for right now for training camp, bro. Let's go back up to Charlotte, get these preseason games in, prove myself, and let's get to the real games, man. And I'm sure there are some guys who are on the field like, man, I wish I had a little bit more time to prove myself at training camp before these preseason games. And for me, it's kind of cool for me to have my first real closure for a topic on this channel. You know, like, we're not done with the whole off season yet, but we're done with training camp. So for me, making this like my first, I guess, season doing these Panthers videos, to have an actual like closure to a mini series of videos is kind of cool. I'll probably feel the same way after the preseason. It'll be like a whole different closure with the off season in general, as well as the closure of the preseason. But I'm also, like I said, mixed emotions because this was steady content for a good 2.5 weeks. You know, there was some days we were off and whatnot. I don't really count FanFest, but it's the same thing. So where's the content going to come from when it's not preseason time? I have a few more videos about, you know, who my top 10 players, the sleepers that came out of training camp. It won't be players like, you know, DJ Moore or that kind of thing, with guys who we know about the team. I'm talking about my top 10 guys that were sleepers, who I think really came up in training camp and proved themselves. I'll do my top 10 people I think will make the team. I'll do my top players I think who've been really impressive after the second, maybe even just the third preseason game. And I'll do a lot more videos like that. But this was a really good, solid, you know, 2 weeks of definite content that was actually really interesting. We got a lot of good videos out of this. We got a lot of insight, a lot of perspective on what the team's looking like. And today was no different. We had some guys who were out. We had Fred Ross, our wide receiver, who was out. We had 2 cornerbacks, Ladarius Gunter and Cole Luke. 2 linebackers, and Ben Jacobs and Andre Smith. We saw Tyler Larson out. Jeremiah Searles was out again. And Julius Peppers, who, I don't know if that's really even a story about Julius Peppers being out. I mean, we knew he wasn't going to be practicing much at all. He won't be playing the preseason. Like I said, man, this dude's 48 years old. What is he? Hold on. Let me look it up real quick. Let me look it up. He's actually 53 years old. Wow. Julius Peppers is 53 years old, still doing work, man, so you don't really need to practice. This guy's going to put in work. I would not be surprised if he goes double-digit sacks again this year. This man is the ageless wonder. Julius, you don't need practice. We're talking about practice. Look, he don't need to be out there. But we saw a lot of good, some bad. The day started off kind of interesting with Coach Rivera talking about, look, if we can get 2 linemen to catch a punt, to field a punt, 2 out of the 4 punts, then we'll call it quits on the training camp. Y'all go home. And Dontari Poe and Taylor Moton both got a punt return, or they both caught punts. But all Coach did was cut it by 30 minutes, which is good because I didn't look. We got things to work on. It's fun to see those big guys, those hog mollies, as someone who's not with the team anymore would call them. It's fun to see them get some have some fun out there, but we need to get some work in, and that was proven very quickly. Look, Cam Newton got picked off 3 times today. I'm gonna be real with you, and I'll qualify what I'm about to say right now by saying this first. Just like it's not a smart idea to, you know, project someone's greatness by how good they do at camp, it's also not a good idea to project someone's downfall by, you know, poor play, inconsistent play at camp. Because while those things can play a factor in future projections, it's not a good idea to set your money. If you're a betting man, don't bet on training camp performance to project to how they're going to play in the preseason and in the regular season where it actually matters. But it's not looking real good. Cam's had a string, at least 2 straight days of not good play. He got picked off by Alex Carter. Now, you remember what I said about him yesterday. If you look at my likes on Twitter, at Shellitronnn, same with the channel name, possible all the time, man. Follow me on Twitter, first of all. But you can see those videos of Alex Carter getting beat by Fred Ross and DJ Moore. Like, it was bad. But, look, Cam's getting picked up by Alex Carter. Alex Carter isn't terrible. Check out his YouTube channel. I found that out just yesterday. Someone told me about his YouTube channel. I looked at it today. Anyway, he got picked off by Alex Carter, and then he almost got picked again by Lorenzo Doss, and then he got picked off twice in a row. Look, man, it's not looking all that great. The inconsistency from Cam has obviously been an issue, and it makes it that much harder to defend the team and Cam and the quarterback play when, you know, the only story you hear when most major news outlets talk about Carolina is Cam Newton is inconsistent, but there's Luke Kuechly there, so that's good. Like, those are the only two stories you ever hear when people talk about Carolina, and it's kind of hard to, you know, say, well, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. Look at this. Look at these things. When we're seeing these inconsistency issues, throwing off the back foot, sailing the ball, throwing ducks sometimes, it can be a little bit hard to defend. But I still have the utmost confidence in Cam Newton and the offense. It's a new offensive coordinator. We have North Turner running the ship now. We will really be in good shape by the season. We'll have to look. Week 3, like I said before in another video, Week 3 is the dress rehearsal versus the Patriots, and that couldn't be a better matchup. Of the 4 games we play in the preseason, that'll be the best game to test out our offense against a stout defense that can really play. So we'll look into that. Wish they had Malcolm Butler still. That would be a really good matchup for our receivers against a really good corner, but it is what it is. Now, like I said, Lorenzo Doss has been really impressing. I've been saying this a lot, and he will definitely, if not, I don't want to give like a spoiler, but Lorenzo Doss will definitely be in my video either tomorrow or the next couple of days talking about which guys really impressed this training camp and preseason. That video might actually come after our second game, so I can get 2 games of film on those guys. But Lorenzo Doss is definitely a guy who you will be seeing me talk about at length. We also saw Curtis Samuel make a really good catch. He's obviously been really impressive. And it's really good to see Curtis Samuel progressing and producing, because if you remember in my depth chart video I did, you see up here above my head, he was number 6 on our wide receiver depth chart beneath Damiere Byrd. And you know, we picked up Jarius Wright. We have Torrey Smith in the squad. And I think both those guys make the team. I saw some projections where Torrey Smith doesn't make the team. I don't see that happening. He's a speedster guy who can really stretch the field. But I really do want to see us keep all 6 of these guys. I think we can probably keep all 6 of these receivers. It'll be a little tough to see, you know, with O-line issues and maybe keeping a couple more corners or just secondary members in general. We'll see about that, but it'll be really cool to see us carry and hold on to 6 receivers. Now, Coach Rivera did mention that this is the fastest roster they've had in a while, which is almost obvious. Look at these guys. I mean, we have Torrey Smith, Damiere Byrd, Curtis Samuel, talking about Dante Jackson. I mean, I couldn't go through all the names, but we have fast guys who are just fast in general. And we have guys who are fast for their position, talking about guys like Marquise Haynes. I mean, obviously Luke is fast, so it's going to be very interesting to see just how well we use that speed to our advantage, how we scheme around that speed, because, you know, zone doesn't really give you the option of using your speed too much. So I want to see if we do use a lot of man, do we do a lot of exotic things on offense, jet sweeps, reverses, that kind of stuff. I want to see all that. Wishbone, maybe? Brendan Mahone got some first team snaps at left guard. Van Roten was at right guard. You know, they had some snaps at center yesterday. So we're going to really see some good work. Trey Turner was out for a little bit. He came back to practice. So it's good to see him, you know, still there. We need all the linemen to stay healthy. And that's one thing that I noticed. Coach Rivera also said that the MVP of training camp wasn't a player, but the training staff, because it was so hot out there. Some guys did get injured, but, you know, we're in the Carolina heat. Keeping those guys out there, healthy, hydrated, stretched out, working out properly, and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's really good to have, you know, congratulate and pat your staff on the back. And you don't want to, you know, get any of these guys' head too big or, like, single out a single player. And like I said earlier, you don't want to base too much off of what you see in training camp. So it's good to take the focus off the players and give a little kudos to your training staff, because you don't really hear much about the training staff very often. You only hear the training staff get mentioned if a lot of players get injured, and that's when you really start about them. So it's really good that he put a little bit of the onus, saying, look, man, we got good guys behind the scenes working well. So I got a lot from Coach Rivera. And a couple last things here. Torrey Smith was asked after practice who stood out to him on defense, and he said, besides Luke, Dante Jackson. Luke Kuechly was asked who stood out to him on offense, and he immediately said Ian Thomas. Dante Jackson and Ian Thomas are names to really, really look out for. Ian Thomas more. Obviously, we know Dante Jackson's probably going to get a lot of playing time. But Ian Thomas will for sure have his own profile I'm going to be doing for him. I really want to see just how well these guys play. And we will see just how good the team is, how we scheme, how our new coordinators work with the team, and see how our backups do. We really may have a really good backup quarterback core, which I think we all underestimated coming to this training camp. We all had our eyes open a little bit, got a little bit more perspective, got a little bit more wiser to see, look, Heineke and Garrett Gilbert might be the truth at backup. We never know. But anyway, man, let me know what your thoughts are. What were your favorite things from this camp? Go through my playlist. You can see all 14 of the videos for the training camp. Your favorite memories, thoughts coming out of it. Who do you think are going to be sleepers? Who's going to be stepping up? Let me know in the comments below. And you already know to do that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.